A woman fainted at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Her body started to slide down slowly. Sensing something amiss, she suddenly roused herself. She desperately seized the rope hanging from the hot air balloon, but it was already too late. Losing her balance completely, she plummeted straight down into the abyss below. When the woman opened her eyes once more, she found that the safety rope had saved her from certain death. Hanging in mid-air at that great height, she knew she wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. She shouted for help to her companion in the basket, but her companion had already fallen into a deep coma. With her strength almost drained, she had to find a way back into the basket. Utilizing every last bit of her energy, she managed with great difficulty to haul herself back into the basket. Her companion was still unconscious, and she needed to save him urgently. At that moment, they were at an altitude of 13,000 meters. Due to the exhaust valve being frozen, the hot air balloon kept ascending, showing no sign of halting. This caused the man to pass out from lack of oxygen. The woman quickly climbed out of the basket and prepared to scale the hot air balloon with her bare hands. Beneath her was the vast, terrifying expanse of the sky. One false move, and she would be shattered into pieces. She had no idea how long she had been struggling to climb when she finally reached the edge of the hot air balloon. Looking up, she saw that the top was still a long way off. Her hands were already frostbitten. As she reached for the rope beside her, her grip almost gave way and she was on the verge of falling. By then, she was also showing signs of oxygen deficiency, but the thought of her unconscious companion gave her a sudden burst of clarity. She attempted once more to grasp the rope, and this time, she succeeded. She pressed on with her ascent. The hot air balloon kept ascending, showing no sign of abating. With firm resolve and persistent effort, she finally made it to the summit of the balloon, but the ice encasing the valve was extremely thick, and she couldn't break it open with her bare hands. Then, ignoring the danger, she slowly stood up, clutching the rope tightly and not daring to look down. With all her might, she kicked at the ice, and finally, she succeeded in shattering it. As the air valve opened, the hot air balloon began to descend slowly. The moment she saw the man regain consciousness, the woman could no longer bear the exhaustion and collapsed in the basket. Just then, it started to snow. They were both captivated by the beautiful sight, but soon, they noticed something strange. The snowflakes that had been falling were now suspended in mid-air, and then, incredibly, began to float upwards as if under a spell. The woman realized that the hot air balloon was descending so rapidly that it was outpacing the falling snowflakes. In a panic, she told the man to discard everything out of the basket. Even after emptying the basket, the balloon continued to swoop down at an alarming rate. It seemed they were on the verge of a fatal crash. In a desperate bid for survival, they rushed to climb on top of the basket. The man decided to cut off the heaviest part of the balloon, the basket. As the last rope was severed, the balloon's descent decelerated slightly, but the experienced woman knew it wasn't enough. The speed was still too great, and a fall from such a height would surely be fatal. To the man's shock, the woman resolutely stood on the edge of the iron ring, ready to sacrifice herself to give him a chance to live. At the crucial moment, the man had an epiphany. He grabbed the rope securing the balloon and sliced it with a knife. The hot air balloon transformed into a makeshift parachute and began to drift down gently. Finally, they saw a glimmer of hope for survival. The movie is called The Aeronauts. Due to copyright restrictions, this is as much as I can share about it for now.